All right, welcome back to the October podcast. This is the wrap-up for October for Unspool. We brought our guest back, Rob LiCalsi, to watch our finished film and rip it apart or congratulate us.
Is the film finished?
Well,
we're
here's the deal.
Slightly late.
Here's the deal.
Scott has an announcement.
Well, yes. During the month of October 22nd, I had a baby boy, and it sort of took me out of the game for a little bit. But the film was actually shot 3 days before the baby was born. So it was in the can. I was going to go edit it and went to the hospital instead and was there for 2 weeks. But the footage was just sitting there wanting to be edited. But
not wanting hard enough, I guess.
But yes, I put something together. There's a couple things I still have to do.
Nope, we're done.
No.
Per the Unspool rules.
No,
per
credits.
your own.
No, look.
Fucking thing.
Hey, I know we're talking about creativity and just put it up.
At the end of the month.
Yeah, it's.
I didn't
the end of the
finish
month.
my
I know
August.
That. I know that. But here's the deal: is we need to credit people. And I feel like that is a fair thing.
Credits are okay.
Yeah. So what you guys are going to see tonight is a screening copy for. You guys are the first people to.
Yeah, this isn't even on the internet. Yeah,
not on the internet. But when it appears to everybody else on the internet,
which is going to be when we're
tomorrow.
All right.
But I have to whip up the credits. It depends how many diapers I have to change and how many.
Can't you hire people for that? I mean, come on.
But maybe when I'm up at 3:30 in the morning, I'll work on it. So
yeah.
Anyway,
just don't go to sleep. I mean, you haven't been sleeping anyway. How come you can't work on this shit?
Yeah. So.
But seriously, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Great name, by the way.
Yeah.
Cormac. Yes. Yeah.
Cormac is a great name.
Yeah. I wanted. Ann and I wanted something sort of unusual, and it's both Irish and
it's a real name.
Norse.
Norse is God.
Norwegian.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a Norwegian and Irish name, but it works in both those worlds. So I thought we both thought that's perfect. So yeah,
nicely done.
Yeah. So we can watch this. Go ahead and watch it.
All right, ready?
Let's do it.
All right.
Oh wait, one more thing. Let me just. I did put in Rob LiCalsi's title and some of the shots. It is.
Rob's thing was dystopian time traveling microwave future.
Oh yeah. So let's want to recap that real quick.
Sure.
So from the interpretation that I got leaving the pitch was that both of our movies somehow interact to bring you and I.
But when you say my student film, your student film.
Oh yeah. Your student film, my student film that were made at different times at RIT, but both had to do with traveling microwaves, which Rob pointed out to us, and I didn't think about it.
Bizarre.
And so those two films somehow interact to send you and I to a place where people don't exist. And that's where he left it. And he said, go with that.
Yeah.
So that is what I used. And there you go.
All right. What title?
I didn't have time.
October.
No
all
title.
Right. Ready?
Yay!
Wow.
Wow.
You guys are
all right.
awesome.
Well, thanks for joining.
You should give a little backstory,
Yeah.
because for anyone who was watching didn't know, yesterday was entirely composed of John's film.
Oh yes.
And
yes.
today was composed of...
Well, I think my one of my thoughts was about the yesterday and today was that yesterday in John's burrito movie, the actor is taking apart the microwave and it does kooky things.
Greg Petralis.
Greg, yes. He gets sent into the fighter pilot scenario. And then sort of what I wanted is that plot line ends, and then let's say that the next day, these guys discover supposedly the same microwave, but it looks completely different. But, they discover a microwave, and then they start traveling through it, and the green screen was in my movie there. So and I kind of cut down your film, cut down my film, just kind of had the essence, just so we could get the.
So the stuff you and I shot, just nowhere.
Oh yeah, because
Scott and I had shot scenes with us, but I think we sort of realized maybe it wasn't going to get used, or maybe part of it would, or there would be an alternate reality.
We didn't film enough before you left.
Yeah.
And I don't feel comfortable hanging out acting in front of the camera. So trying to shoot like
the green screen worked better than I thought it
really worked really well.
Yeah. Was that still in your
clean.
Backyard in the same
no,
set
that was
we
actually
did?
done at the Vasquez Rocks.
Oh,
and
okay.
I have a couple of funny stories about this. So we shot and I'd like to get your take too, because you guys are kind of like speechless, but I'm wondering if you're just trying to take it in. If you're like, holy shit, that's not at all what I expected.
No, it's weird. It's very literally like what you pitched.
Yeah, which is not at all what I expected.
Yeah, right?
But I tried to throw the hook at the end, which was they're totally satisfied at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I got it.
Yeah, which is sort of like the whole Twilight Zone idea of like these, John French and Scott Zarzycki really could exist on He-Man cameras, which I think is in a lot of ways is pretty true. But
some Bruce thrown in there.
Some Bruce, yeah, some love of your life going on, and and then I was trying to figure out, the whole time John and I were trying to figure out how to incorporate those two student films that we did, and
Stupid or student?
Student.
Okay.
Student.
And no, they're genius films, and so that's why I sort of crafted it that way, and then John and I shot something with green screen. I just felt like it didn't work out. I was just too.
We were very rushed
and
it
wasn't worth it. So then
we shot the great electrocution scene in the kitchen.
We did. I'll have to include that in the outtakes or something. But Nick Urban and T.J. Martin were nice enough to play Scott Zarzycki and John French,
which is great.
And so I tried to recreate the entire scene so people who follow it would understand. Oh, it's two people. They're supposed to be us. They're just recreating the scene, and this is actually what happens when they go around the corner. They discover the microwave, and it's actually a continuation almost. And then we shot that, and you weren't even home. We shot that.
And why wasn't TJ in the red shirt? I guess just because you needed the He-Man shirt.
Yeah, I wanted the He-Man to sort of get in people's minds that he liked He-Man, because otherwise he'd pull out the dolls and kiss it, and people are like, well, why? Why would he be kissing a He-Man doll?
Why would you not?
And then interesting story. So we cruised through the whole day. We spent all day like shooting.
Is that just one shoot?
Yeah,
there?
Here and at Vasquez Rocks.
How many
I wanted to
hours?
shoot there. From maybe 10 to 5.
Oh, okay.
Because we had to commute, and eat lunch and stuff. But
that's not really too bad.
No, not too bad.
The location.
Now at Vasquez Rocks, I set up the green screen there because it was a wide open area, and they have just like parking lots, like just grass or dirt areas that you can park. So I just
where is that? Sorry.
It's I don't want to give the wrong directions. Up to 14, I think. Up by like Canyon,
Santa Clarita-ish. Or?
Yeah, except you're pulling off to the right.
It looked
go up.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's cool. They shoot a lot of everything from like music videos to old, like they did the 1960s.
Is that where you did the sail?
Star Trek. Star Trek. Yeah.
Is that where you did the sail?
No, that was somewhere else. But so we shot there. So we got there after lunch. We shot there for the whole time. We were walking around, and there's not many people around, so nobody's bothering us. Nobody's getting on our shots. So it looks desolate. It looks like they are the only people. And then we set up the green screen. I was wrapping up stuff, and we set up the green screen. So I said, just react, and they were kind of watch the movie just so they could get it, and they did wild lines and stuff. And then a guy pulls up on his motorcycle, and he tells me that he's like, what are you guys shooting for? And there's a policeman who was parked, like a sheriff or something, who's parked like, just across the way, but he could obviously see what we were doing. So here I am raising the green screen, And I'm like, well, if he has a problem with me shooting here, I'm not bothering anybody. Nobody's around. And he's going to obviously drive up and be like, you guys can't film here or something like that, I assume. And so he drives off.
The dude, not the cop.
The sheriff.
Oh, so he asked you what you're doing?
No, not at all. So he drives off, and then a guy on a motorcycle, as we're wrapping up, like, I've got all my cases on the ground, we're putting equipment away, and like TJ and Nick are like drinking water, we're just putting stuff away. This guy pulls up and he goes, "What are you guys shooting?" And we're like, "Oh, we're just shooting just a movie for ourselves and stuff." And he's like, "Was it a commercial or music video?" And he said, "No, it's just something for ourselves." And he said, "They arrest people now for this." And I said, "Oh, geez, I don't want to be arrested. I'm just shooting here." And he's like, "Well, yeah." He's like, I just want to let you know they don't fine people anymore. They're just gonna arrest you and confiscate your stuff." And I was like, well, I
seems
mean,
a bit harsh.
A bit harsh, and I couldn't believe it. I
don't think that's true, but
I have no idea. He's like, they stopped giving citations because there's too many people.
They just started putting people in jail.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, that seems odd to,
But never argue with a crazy man on a motorcycle in the desert.
No, and he basically was like, well, I'm just warning you so you don't, get arrested, and just drove off. And
thank you, kind stranger.
So he's
gonna kill me.
But I feel like the sheriff would have arrested me if he wanted to. But
I am amazed that you didn't really no one bothered you with a green screen set up there.
The place is so open that I just find a nice little cove where there's nobody there. But yeah, I mean, you guys have thoughts, or I mean, it's
bizarre. Long, I guess. It's bizarre. Okay. Yeah, I thought there was a way too much burrito. I'm probably partial to burrito, but I thought that was long. But,
your movie, yeah.
Yeah. Yours too, but I don't know how. Yours is harder to cut because it's like sort of one take.
Well, I can cut it down, but since Rob kind of made this emphasis on our movies coming together, I left him at like the 2-minute, 3-minute mark.
They could probably be a minute each. You just get the gist of it. Because you only need to see the microwave doesn't work, and then he gets zapped into the TV and comes back. It could be quick.
Sure.
The desert stuff was all like pretty funny though. When the microwave lands and then they like pop in there, it was funny. It's weird. It's goofy. The like weird music when they're like wandering around, and then I'm like, oh, are they splitting up? Did they leave each other? And then they found the toys and they like came back together.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like that's the best I could find for tragedy music.
Yeah,
it's kind of spacey, weird spacey.
It looks really good. I assume it's all the black magic too.
All the black magic hasn't been color corrected this version.
Yeah, the ones like the slow mo is the GoPro, and then the other one's a GoPro or iPhone when there's like a close up shot too.
Yeah, it's all GoPro. Okay. So we had the GoPro 3 Plus that we shot a lot of slow mo for even the microwave falling, but it kept on. It was so wide and
how many times did you drop it?
And
the door stayed on. I can't believe you could.
No, it fell off.
It didn't completely.
Every time I think it fell off. Once here in Sherman Oaks, we dropped it once, and that was it. Because it was just a straight drop down. Yeah. That's when they disappeared. And then in the Vasquez Rocks, Nick Urban chucked it from up high. And
that I have
over.
A video of that happening.
Oh,
someone sent me.
And he chucked it 3 times because the first time he chucked it so hard that it rolled, like it hit off camera and rolled away. and I said, you threw that. So he's like, I'm just stronger than I thought. So then he tried.
Were the cops there when you were throwing the microwave off the cliff?
Probably. Maybe they were called at that point, but they were just sitting nearby our, the car and stuff. But and then I think the third take was the one that. It just kind of finally rolled to a spot where I could have them appear, lock down the camera, and just have them appear. So. Yeah.
So when you didn't let the camera lock down until it sort of set, and then you had them.
No, I had it locked down.
And then
he chucked the microwave, and I said that was a good take. We're gonna leave the microwave where it is.
Okay.
And then I want you guys to jump and kind of roll. And then with that, and then I moved the camera closer in and had them do their lines and stuff. So.
And then the one you shot in Sherman Oaks, they disappear and then the microwave drops.
Yeah.
Where did it drop from? How did you shoot that one?
Right above, because there's a step, like I guess where a planter is supposed to be, and so they stood on the planter edge. And
then did you just
it.
crop the frame?
Yeah, I just cropped them out.
Okay.
So I matted them out, and yeah, and I just thought that it'd be kind of funny if they were looking at this thing, looking inside, because he's looking for a burrito in there, and then like just they disappear, and the fact that the microwave is still hanging in the air. I thought that was good. The visual would be kind of interesting, and then how it just like appears.
Can you take the same sound effect, in the burrito thing, when the burrito first appears and it's like boomp, which I'd forgotten that sound effect existed. Could you have that same sound effect when they disappear?
Yes, but now are you having me modify this movie?
I'm saying in a perfect world, if we were to do it again, because we're not making changes.
If we weren't having babies and stuff in the month of October, then I would have loved to have the whole thing streamlined as far as like the effects and have things kind of even like a theme. I find it kind of tricky to take two old films and then try to weave like a new thread in it.
Because when we talked about it at one point, we thought it might be like I had an idea of it being a trailer or something, or like in 1999 this happened and then this happened, like, but we were still working on it, like when.
Yeah. So there's so many different ways you could go, and I wish I could have integrated the burrito film and the microwave film. Like as soon as it hits the microwave film, now it's just they're like Mystery Science Theater where they're like in front going whoa, and it like it. I wanted
to see their faces or something.
Yeah, it takes me out, but I did not, shooting it. I didn't have time, and I wish I had done like a lot more green screen. And even on where he says, "Hey, Scott Zarzycki, oh man, I was so drunk," I was not only rack focusing but also holding the boom with the other arm. So I was like doing this. And when you're one person crew trying to get, it's tough. So you just have to kind of sacrifice shots.
And it's funny because you shot here when we were out of town, and I had forgotten that you were shooting. And then like TJ or Nick like just texted me a picture of them hanging out in the backyard, and I was like, "Oh, that's right, that was happening."
Yeah, no, I mean it worked out well, and Rob, any thoughts, comments, or?
It was interesting for sure. I didn't expect you to actually incorporate the two movies. I think that's where I'm happy. I thought it was actually awesome. But like I never expected the two movies to actually be incorporated into the new movie. It was just the idea of time travel via microwave that I thought would be taken like to a sequel level. So like but I thought it was awesome that like you were able to find a through line to make Yesterday and Today be the two films. Like Yesterday is the story of it sets the whole thing up, and then Today is like, well, here it is. And I actually thought it could have been handled differently when they were in the microwave, because I love the idea that like when time traveling, if you were in the microwave, like that's what happens. It goes to all these different places, and you're just like no one would ever know that, but somehow these guys shrunk to be inside of it, which that's neither here nor there. That's cool, but that like the idea of like a wormhole or something like
that didn't even bother me.
No,
you just mentioned it. I was like, yeah, right. Why'd they get small and they're inside? I don't even care.
But like, I think that like I loved that your film, the microwave film. Like, I don't know. Now I see it as like that's what happens in time travel. Like, which it's like a wormhole-ish idea that could be taking place over, eons or like a millisecond. Like, but it goes to all these different random places, and then it spits you out at the end. Who knows where?
At the end of the world.
Yeah, so like
that's what Greg Petralis went through.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so
he went through all that and then ended up with that.
So like that to me was awesome that you were able to tie the two together, and that like I was able to kind of put it through when they landed, and then that was just complete batshit crazy because how do you know we're the last people in the world? Rob LiCalsi. Like
the first thing I drew for this idea, and we just didn't do it, and we mentioned it briefly. I wanted to have like a giant like at the end of the world, I wanted there to be like a giant like Rob LiCalsi head just like laughing like the Emperor of the Universe or something.
Well,
but that
the
was
only
just
reason
idea.
I said like at the time, because at the time you proposed it to me, it was we want to do something spooky for Halloween.
Oh, and we had other ideas too. I mean, we just didn't have time. There were going to be
tons.
actresses in haunted houses. We were going to try to shoot a scene as the microwave like zapped through one of the. It was just going to like open and it was going to be you in jail in like 1994, and I was going to be like, I knew it, and then like zap to somewhere else.
But I always thought that. To me, like, what is spooky about the end of the world, like, not end of the world, but the last person on Earth sort of thing. And, like, this is, like, might be, like, the only, like, movie idea that I, like, actually have, like, thought fleshed out. But it's kind of like Castaway, the movie, like, where you're really the only person around. But, like, I always thought that if you were the last person on Earth, you don't ever know that you're the last person. So you live your life in fear, even though you have nothing to fear. So, like, if you did have that knowledge, you would have no fear and you could live like a god and have access to all canned goods you want and live in whatever mansion and, like, make some sort of, like, castaway life for yourself, which could be somewhat peaceful. But the way that things are, you would always be on edge that you're not the last person, that you're going to have, you know, fucking zombies or animals or, like, you know, other like gangs coming after you, so you would just always live in fear, even though you should be like be able to relax, sort of thing. So that's why I was like, to me, a scary Twilight Zone-ish thing is you're the last person on Earth. But you guys made it to be like, I found cameras,
like,
and
thank God there's no people here.
Well,
that part I like.
Yeah, I did too.
I think
It's
it's
just
funny.
so weird.
I think it was sort of my spoof on your idea, because I felt like you left us with, you guys are last people, and I wanted to get over that hump. Like you said, it's a plot hole that I'm like, well, how does TJ know? TJ just knows because I don't have the time to either show people going through cities that are empty.
Yes, yeah, I know. It's too big of a scope.
And then I thought, how can I kind of come back to like make it campy where they're okay with that, because I thought, you know, if they are the last people on Earth, John French and Scott Zarzycki might be okay with it. Because,
and I like that. I love that they're okay with it.
So I think that's the big, huge plot hole that I had to kind of like cover, was just like, how do you know there's nobody here? Rob LiCalsi. And that's it. Just leave it at that. That's the answer.
Works for me.
Yeah. So.
Well done. I mean,
it's something.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about the Palm Springs stuff you shot.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Your title was funny.
Yeah,
that was cute.
Awesome.
What was the first one? You said you shot.
I shot one where I tied a GoPro to my fingers, and then I did like, I punched on the Avid with the Avid keyboard, because you guys said no Avid title tool. But so instead, I punched my name in, and then like I cut to it like going on the screen, and then I gave the finger. So
that's funny. This was kind of maybe more you. Maybe.
Yeah. Well,
I liked it.
But yeah, that one was a little more like ambiguous. But
that one you added like the whoosh sound on the zoom for.
No, actually, that was there.
That was the camera.
Yeah. I didn't have time to add sound effects.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a good sound effect.
Yeah, I thought it was you added a fake whoosh. Hopefully, we can get on a schedule and we can finish these things. Together and as we go forward. But.
Yeah, it's just as we understand with the Unspool process, is things unspool in different ways, and like, that's just we have to deal with. So,
I would say, and you get a full pass, but we're supposed to have it done at the first of the month, regardless of where it is.
Anyway. Thank you, Rob LiCalsi, for being
Scott
such a
Zarzycki.
great guest.
Hey, you're welcome.
We're gonna wrap up the October.
I have lots more to say.
What?
No, I was joking.
All right, you guys were great. It was a good month. We made some babies, and we had some good stuff. So anyway,
cheers!
Congratulations to babies and unspooling, and
we look forward to November, which we're already involved with. So
comes up soon.
Let's bring on November.
Cool. All right. Oh, just in time. Cheers.
Cheers.
He's got a whole fucking...
Yeah.
And there you have it. That is the wrap-up for October of 2014. This has been Unspool. You can find us on the internet at unspool.net, and you can see all the bloopers and outtakes and bonus materials, behind the scenes stuff like that. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at Unspool Podcast. Send us some email at podcast@unspool.net. Let us know what you think, and we will see you next month. Thank you very much. Cheers.